Okay, so we will be continuing with our topic, and as you know that we are continuing with early modern, and in early modern we are continuing with uh, Renaissance. Definitely, this Renaissance started with Reformation, and we moved to gradually the pre-Elizabethan age, where we could study about some new uh, literature that were introduced there. And now it is time for us to go for some questions. Well, so before that, I would like to have some questions. And the first question is put to Pooja, you. What's the name of the scholar that introduced the coined the word Renaissance? Come on. What's the name of the scholar, okay, that introduced or coined the word Renaissance? Okay, Vinay?
Jules Michelet.
That's the right answer. Jules Michelet. Very good. Owen, your question. Which work of Geoffrey Chaucer is thought to be the first work presenting the Troy or issues of Troy with the help of birds? Which work of Geoffrey Chaucer presents the issues or matters of Troy with the help of birds? A discussion on Troy. Come on.
John Dubey.
No, see my question. My question is, which work of Geoffrey Chaucer presents a discussion on the war of Troy? That's a good one, Nazir. With the help of birds. Okay, Pooja? Vinay?
Parliament of House.
Parliament of Force, that's very nice. Well, Vinay, which poem of Geoffrey Chaucer referred to a fair white? Fair white. There is a word. In fact, it's kind of phrase. Okay? And the word is used to be fair white for someone.
French work.
Sorry?
It was for French work.
That's good one, Kanchan.
It was for French work or literature.
My question is here. In one of the works of Geoffrey Chaucer, we have a phrase like good and fair white. Okay? Whom is that word used? That's my question. Whom is that word used? You have to tell. Hello? 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 Okay, so we move to the next. On here, you answer it.
Prior?
No, my question is, there is a work by Geoffrey Chaucer that has a reference of good, fair, white. Which work of Geoffrey Chaucer has this phrase. This is very meaningful phrase, in fact. This is why this is my question. Paul. Pooja. Come on, tell us. That's good one, Nazir. Nice answer. Okay, so it was the book of the Duchess. There is a phrase, fair and white. This fair and white stood to to the blemish of Lancaster, and that word is very meaningful. The phrase is very meaningful. With the help of this fair white, we can understand the work was dedicated to this blemish of Lancaster. Well, so it goes to Pooja. Which story of early modern period, which work or a story of early modern period describes us the life of an imaginary world, that is an ideal world, which work from the early modern, especially Renaissance, describes an ideal world. Early modern, not old period, early modern. That's a good one, Nazir. Good afternoon, Shalini. Okay, Vinay, you're good.
Thomas More Utopia.
That's very nice. Utopia. I told you last day. I taught you last day Utopia. Utopia is an ideal world that presents to be a socialist view. Followed by your question. Which poem from the old period presents the rescue of a saint by another saint? Which poem from the old period presents the rescue of a saint by another saint?
India's.
That's the right answer, Andreas. That's good one, Nazir. Vinay, what was the name of the man who was stoned for being, that's good one, Kanchal, for being Christian in Eleni? What's the name of the man who was stoned for being a Christian in Eleni? Okay, Paul, you tell us. Eleni. Question is about the man who was stoned. Pooja. No. How are you? Okay, tell the answer. What's the name of the character who was stoned in Eleni for being a Christian? Come on. That's nice answer, Kanchan. Stephen. That's good one, Kanchan. First Stephen. One. Which poem of Geoffrey Chaucer has the opening with the story of Andreas and Dido? That's good one, Shalini. Has the opening with House of Fame. That's right answer. I think even last time I asked this question. Okay. Pooja, how many characters are there in Canterbury Tales? How many characters are there in Canterbury Tales? 19. Supriya?
29.
29.
Canterbury Tales.
Yeah. That's good one, Nazir.
4. Not sir. 29.
When I 32. That's the right answer. In fact, there were the 29 pilgrims that come there. One poet was there and the two other characters were there. In fact, if characters are asked, they are going to be 32. Pilgrims are asked, they are going to be 30. How many pilgrims joined the poet? Then it is 29. Okay. Well, so that's good one, Shalini. Supriya, your question. What's the name of the character whose story from the tales of Shakespeare seems to be unfinished? Cook's story. That's right answer. In fact, Cook's story stops, ends all of a sudden. That seems to be unfinished work. Paul, where seems to be almost first kind of use of prose in the story of Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. That's good one, Kanchan. Where seems to be the first time use of prose in the story of Canterbury Tales. That's nice one, Kanchan. Vinay. Come on.
There were two parts of Shakespeare, Chaucer's work. First was house and second was
Continue.
was
Sir Topaz was doggerel. Sir Topaz was a doggerel, not a prose writing. Surya, you tell. No, dear, I'm talking about Canterbury Tales. Supriya. Where is for the first time use of prose in the tales of Chaucer? No, it's a Monk's Tale. Monk's Tale has the first use of prose. One. What's the name of the lover of Lady Guinevere from the story of the Lee Mordilla Arthur? Lee Mordilla Arthur. What's the name of the lover of Lady or Queen Guinevere from the Mordi Arthur? Vinay? Pooja? Supriya? Eye contact is very compulsory. No, Kanchan. My question is, what's the name of the lover? Oh, that's nice answer, Nazir. Lord Lancelot. That's good answer. Lord Lancelot was the lover of the Queen Guinevere, who was wife for King Arthur. Vinay, what's the name of the sword that was used by Beowulf killing she-devil in the poem? Runting sword. That's nice answer. On which work of Erasmus criticized cruelty of kings, ignorance of clergies, and stupidity of education? That's good one, Kanchan. Which work of Erasmus criticized the cruelty of kings, ignorance of clergymen, and foolishness in education system? No, dear. Where are you answering from? Supriya? Praise of folly. That's right answer. I told you last day. It's a praise of folly. There, Erasmus criticized it. Okay, Pooja. That's nice one, Charlie. What's the name of the publisher of the first version of the work that was Utopia? What was the name of the publisher of the first version of Utopia, written by Sir Thomas More? Come on. Come on, reply. What's the name? Venadier, your time. Tell the name of the publisher who published the first version of Utopia in 1516.
It was published in Latin language.
Yeah.
Erasmus.
Erasmus, that's right answer. It was published, no Kanchan, it was published by Erasmus and in 1516. That's nice answer. Well, so the last question of the day. And that goes to Conway. What's the word that was used in the poem written by William Langland, Piers Plowman for step? What was the word that was used for steps in the poem Piers Plowman, written by William Langland? Vinay? That's good one, Nazir. words for passes.
Surpasses.
Word was passes in French. I answered it. Okay. So, yes, now we will move to the next. And the next topic of the day is going to be John Haywood. John Haywood. In fact, John Haywood was a satirist, playwright, musician, and composer. So he wrote plays, he wrote poems, and he wrote almost his proverbs. So I can say that he is today remembered for writing his proverbs. You know what is proverb? Supreme, what is proverb? Go on.
Group of words is not complete.
Not phrase here, I'm talking about proverbs. You are giving description of phrase. In it?
So basically ancient tales, short story,
No,
and
no.
statements, ancient statement that is universal.
Yeah, there is something, but not very pointed. Puja?
This is popular in society.
That's good one. In fact, proverb is a meaningful short statement.
Yes.
It's just one line structure, meaningful, pretty, maxim-like statement. Okay? It's a maxim like statement where we find that proverb takes the practical knowledge of the world. Okay? Practical knowledge of the world. It's not bookish. Such things happen in our society. You can see that in Proverbs we find something that is publicly accepted. People used to do such things and they are the part of such things. Okay? So, Proverbs become very famous in the hand of John Haywood. He belongs to great family of musicians, composers, and from his family, later on we find his grandson was poet John Donne. John Donne was his grandson from his daughter. Okay? He has written a famous interlude, we can say, and that was in those days called to be 4 P's. Or sometimes this 4P was written like this 4PP. Okay? So 4P's or 4P was a kind of interlude that was written by John Haywood. Now, this seems to be the first kind of play that was introduced. Almost first kind. It wasn't the first play, but almost kind of first play. because play in England was not in the very original form. It was still going through evolution. It was still going through changes. It was trying to find and establish its shape time to come. But this work that John Haywood wrote, like 4P or 4Ps, this establishes the discussion between 4P. P stands for the profession, okay? That's represented by, remember, P stands for the profession, that's presented by the characters. So there will be 4Ps means 4 profession, 4 trades that will start with P. P's will present 4 characters, okay? And these characters will present their tradition, their trends, starting with P. Starting with P. Okay. Okay. So these 4 P's are partner, partner, apothecary, apothecary, palmer, and peddler. In fact, today we take the word apothecary as apothecary. Okay? Today we don't say it. Today we don't say apothecary. Instead we say apothecary. So today the spelling is with A. A-P-O-T-H-E-C-A-R-Y. That is today's spelling as apothecary. But in old days, it was called to be apothecary. So P from pardoner, P from apothecary, P from palmer, P from peddler. So they are 4P. Okay? And plural of letter is shown with the apostrophe. I think I told you. Whenever you will have to make plural of letter, suppose there is a letter like L, okay? And you have written many L like this. And you want to show in one letter more than one L, means plural of L, okay? So how will you write? Like this, L, apostrophe, and S. This else is the same, or this can be written like this, okay? This is why we take plural of PP. So the 4 letters of P, so that is 4 P's. 4 P's, 4 L's. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So in one word, 4 L's. Got it? Plural of a letter is made with the help of apostrophe and S. Okay? So here we find this P with apostrophe and S as a plural of P. And these are the P. Okay. There is going to be a humor. In fact, even John Haywood was a good humorist. He was a good humorist. He attacked the 4 characters that were introduced there. Among them, pardoner, apothecary, palmer, they presents Christian church. They present Christian church. Okay? And after this, we find that there is a common man like peddler. Common man. Okay? So the great persons have kind of discussion to hold highest place. You know, highest place. Because the three partner, both carry and power, they are from the church. So the question between or among them is who will take the higher place or greater place. Means who is great or who is greater. The question between partner, both carry and Palmer. They had a kind of question, okay? Who is great or who is higher? Who is great or who is higher? Who holds highest place? You can say. If the three are there to compare, who hold the highest place? Who hold the highest place? That was a discussion. And they were unable to find solution. So they meet a common man, and that was peddler. Peddler has to decide who among these three is going to be the great. Okay? So what is his condition? They will have to tell a lie. Remember, they are the members of the church and they are not supposed to tell a lie. They are not supposed to tell a lie. But peddler puts a condition. The person who tells lie in a better way will get better place. Means if wants to get the highest place, will take the best place. The person who will tell a lie best will get the highest place. You can understand how easily best liar, okay, will get highest place. See, the best liar, the man who will lie the best will get the place highest. How is that possible? Because these three are the representative of the church. And people working in church are not supposed to tell a lie. They are not supposed to tell a lie. Even though he puts a question, if they wish to tell a lie, he will decide who was the best teller of the lie. And then the best man will be there to get the highest place. Now see, the people of church, they shouldn't tell any lie. But to get a place like this, they are ready to tell a lie. They are ready to tell a lie. So this shows that church was swayed by, church was ruled by greedy people. Greedy people or greedy clergymen, greedy church official. And you can feel that John Haywood did it possibly to get the favor of king, because there was a kind of conflict between king and church. I have told you about act of supremacy. Pooja will tell us about act of supremacy. Pooja, tell us, what is the act of supremacy? Come on, tell. Supriya will tell us. Come on, tell us something about act of supremacy. Good afternoon, Sharon.
Supremacy said royalty and
Yes, continue. What was the main theme? Even online students can answer. What was the main theme of act of supremacy?
and
Come on, you can tell.
royalty and about king.
Something like that. Paul bhai, you can explain us.
A person who is very powerful in this country. In ancient time, king and saint become a powerful man.
Yes, it's very nice.
And
Means it was a kind of conflict,
conflict between the king
Pope and king. Yes, that's nice. And here, that's good effort, Kanchan, but I think you should be very clear about the answer. Yes, definitely that's nice effort. It was a kind of conflict between king and pope. To be, yes, that's good one, Nazif. Who will be more powerful or who will be representative of God on the earth? So act of supremacy proves that king is superior to pope, and it was passed by parliament in 1534. That's good one, Shalini. Shalini answers it to be rule of king over the church. Yes. So here, when John Haywood writes anything like 4 P's, that was a play, kind of interlude, kind of play. So here he tries to show that the officials of a church are greedy people. They they can tell a lie just for getting the post or getting the place. So how such greedy people can be reliable? This was his question. And this is how he supports, since he attacked the church, indirectly he attacked the church. And attacking church, he got the support of king. Okay? So, in his effort, we find almost to be the first publisher of plays. He was there and he got a chance to meet John Rastell. John Rastell. John Rastell. John Rastell was the composer of the poems, composer of the interlude, and was first publisher of plays in England. John Rastell was first publisher of the plays in England. First publisher of plays in England. Remember. Well, so you want to know how John Rastell was related to John Haywood. Actually, he was John Haywood's father-in-law. He was John Haywood's father-in-law. Because John Haywood was married to Elizabeth Rastell. She was daughter of John Rastell. And this is how the relation was developed, and he got a better place for his writing. father-in-law himself was a good interlude writer. So John Haywood finds not only father-in-law but a good audience in the form of his father-in-law. Okay, he had some famous proverbs. I think you should note them. Famous one is here. Look or you leave. Look or you ere. Or you leap. Leap. Next step. These are going to be the proverbs that he introduced. Okay, because I told you he gave proverbs to be very popular in England. So next proverb was, two heads are better than one. Two heads, Heads, heads are better than one. His next was proverb, beggars should be no choosers. Beggars should be no choosers. Next is all is well that ends well. One good turn. Next is one good turn. Ask the Keth. Ask another. Rome was not built in one day. Rome was not built in one day. Better late than never. Better late than never. That's good. So these are the famous, in fact, epigrams, famous proverbs that he introduced. They were introduced by him. Remember, he was a man who introduced these proverbs, these epigrams. Okay? You know, epigram? Epigram. Especially almost like a proverb. Okay? Short and sometimes antithetical statement full of meanings.
Sir, it is proverb of Haywood and
Haywood. The proverbs were introduced by Haywood. Sorry?
Sir, epigram.
Epigram is short, pretty, antithetical statement. Short, pretty, antithetical statement. Now we will move towards the first comedy in English. That is Ralph Roister. Nicholas Udall. Ralph Royster, remember? Yeah, that's Guru Shailendra. This play is the first English play. First English complete play or drama. In next way, you can say it was the first English comedy. So when we discuss Nicholas Udall, we think that he was the first person that wrote the first English complete play. Complete play means with 5 acts and scenes. Even before Nicholas Udall plays were written, as I told you, because John Haywood was there, he was also a dramatist playwright. Before him, his father-in-law, John Russell, was there, he was also playwright. So plays were written, but most of them were like interlude. They were not a good play, not a complete play. Okay, so you can remember Nicholas Udall as the first playwright who wrote the first complete play. Okay, first playwright to write the first complete English play. First complete English play. There is clear inspiration on the work from Plautus and Terence. The work was inspired from Plautus and Terence. You remember, Plautus and Terence were the Roman playwright who popularized new comedy. Popularized new comedy in Rome. Paul, who introduced the new comedy in Rome? Sorry, in literature. Who introduced new comedy in literature? Supriya, who introduced new comedy in literature. Come on, come on. Vinay, can you? Pooja, do you remember? Okay, it was Greek dramatist Menander. He was Greek dramatist and he introduced new comedy. And after him, it was responsibility of Plautus and Terence to popularize this form, and they popularized it in Rome. Later on, this reached England, and as we see that here for the first time, we find that English play was written, and this English play means Ralph Waldo Emerson was under the influence of Plautus and Terence from the Roman sources or Roman playwrights. It is a story of a widow, and her name was Christian Custance. Christian Custance. She is a widow and she is very rich. She was betrothed to Kevin Goodluck. Kevin Goodluck. She was betrothed, means engaged to Gavin Goodluck. He was a merchant. But there was another character whose name was Ralph Royster. Ralph Royster, his complete name. He was encouraged by a joker, Matthew Mary Greek. His joker is Matthew Mary Greek. This man encouraged Ralph to woo Christian Custance. You know who? Attract. Okay. Yeah. So Matthew, in fact, encouraged Ralph Royster to woo Christian Custance because Gavin was out of the city. So it was effort by him, but he failed. The next time his next servant was there to take, means the first effort was with love, okay, but the next effort that was not to take Custance by love but by force. Once again, this Matthew Mary Greek makes Ralph to try to find Christian Custance, not by love, because the first time he tried, Ralph Royster tried to find Christian, he used his love, but she was not attracted to his love, she didn't come under his influence. So now this time he was asked to use force so that she can surrender. But she didn't surrender, because when Ralph Royster with his servants tried to take Christian Custance away by force, he was beaten by the maids and servants of Christian Custance, and this is how Ralph was defeated, and he couldn't make his impression on Custance by force. So the first time he failed with his effort, okay, and second time he once again failed. Meanwhile, Gavin arrives. Okay, Gavin, who was gone on a visit because he was a merchant. So in those days, merchants used to visit different places and broadside places. And when he comes, Gavin comes, the two, Custance and Gavin, both reunite, reconciliation, and definitely the play ends with a prayer and a song. Prayer and song. Because this is necessary element for a comedy, that the play should end with reconciliation, with a prayer, with a song, where all major characters meet with each other and the problem is settled. Okay, so this play, Ralph Lauster Lauster, is the first 5-act play. Remember, first 5-act play. First 5-act English play. Remember, first 5-act English play. Okay. Now we will move to the next play, and that is Gorboduc. Gorboduc. I think you remember Gorboduc. It is the first English tragedy. First English tragedy. It presents the first use of blank verse as well. That's good one, Sharon. It shows the first use of blank verse. In play. It is also kind of revenge play. Revenge play. And if we consider it, it is first kind of first revenge play as well. Before this play, there was no tragedy, okay? Nobody wrote tragedy before this. And if it was written in a form of revenge, so not only it is a revenge play, but also a kind of first revenge play in English. First revenge play in English. And I think you remember Titus Andronicus. You remember? Titus Andronicus by Shakespeare. You have read that there had been so many murders in that play. You find so many murders, means kind of revenge. One killing next, next killing next. This is how, and the whole play from the starting till the end.
So there is 13 murder.
Yeah, if you see from the very starting, the play opens and one is murder, and that ends and the one is murder. Means that is only murder play, we can say. So here as well you will find murders, but murder in the sense of revenge. Murder in the sense of revenge. Gorboduc is subtitled like Forex and Porex. Ferex and Porex. This is subtitle for the play. Ferex and, yeah, that's good one, Kanchan. Ferex and Porex. Okay. Now we will move to the play. Actually, about this play, it is said that it was staged before Queen Elizabeth. Staged before Queen Elizabeth. Before Queen Elizabeth. Okay? It was staged before Queen Elizabeth. It is believed. That seems to be on 18th January 1562. says before Elizabeth, January 1562. The play was completed in 1561. The play was completed in 1561 and possibly performed in 1561 as well. Performed in 1561 on the Christmas celebration. Christmas celebration, and the performance was done by Inner Temple. The first performance was done by Inner Temple, like a drama company. Okay, this performance was done on Christmas of 1561. Remember, performance was done on 1561 on a very Christmas day or Christmas celebration. Its first quarto was published by William Griffith. William Griffith. Griffith published its first quarto on 22nd September 1565. Quarto on 1565. 22nd September 1565, the first quarto was published. The publisher was bookseller William Griffith.
Sir, 1560.
65. Griffith. William Griffith was the publisher for the work. In fact, the work was collaboration of Thomas Sackville and Thomas Norton. Thomas Norton and Sackville. The two dramatists worked together and there were 5 acts, okay, in all. So the acts were divided in 2 parts. The 3 acts were first 3 acts were written by Thomas Norton and the last 2 acts were written by Thomas Sackville. Thomas Norton and Thomas Sackville. Okay, we'll take some characters. Well, I think you remember the story of King Lear as well. Gorboduc is a king of Great Britain. In those days, only Britain, okay? And he had 2 sons, Ferrex and Porrex, okay? Porrex. Since Gorboduc was an old man by then. So he decided to divide his kingdom, like King Lear decided to divide his kingdom. He didn't consider the advice of his courtiers. In fact, courtiers were not agree. The courtiers of Gorbadak, they were not agree to divide his kingdom between his sons. In fact, what they wanted was that he should give whole right, whole power to one of his sons. Means if he loves Perex was elder, okay? Elder. And naturally Perex was younger. So according to the rule of those days, elder was almost estimated to get the right of the power. But king had decided something new. So courtiers gave the example of Morgan and Cunedeg. Morgan and Cunedeg. Okay. Morgan and Cunedeg were also Britishers, lived in Britain, and they were also two brothers. Means Morgan and Cunedeg were also two brothers. When their father decided to divide their kingdom, okay, so Cunedeg killed his brother Morgan. Younger brother Cunedeg killed his brother, elder brother Morgan. So courtiers of Gorbadak were afraid of the reputation of story. They thought that same incident may happen in Great Britain once again under the rule of Gorbadak if Gorbadak is going to divide his kingdom between his sons Perex and Porex. Though it was good idea, Gorbadak appreciated their ideas but divided it. Didn't follow, divided. When the division was done, both brothers were happy. Both brothers, Perex and Porex, both were happy. But there was a greed. And the two servants, one was Hermon and the next was Tender. Hermon and Tender. They are the servants. Hermon was servants of Perex and Tender was servants of Porex. So Hermon told Perex, why to wait? It's not good to divide his kingdom because by birth it was Perex, means he was elder. So by birth the whole kingdom was his, but father is dividing it with Porex. So Hermon suggested Perex to attack Porex and kill Porex so that the kingdom should be only for Perex. But Tender here gives an idea to Porex. Tender gives idea to Porex. He told him that Porex's brother Perex is trying to attack him. Perex is trying to attack him. If Porex is not going to kill Perex, he will be killed by his elder brother. This was the fear that Tender placed in the mind of Porex. Now Porex had to save himself. In that dilemma, saving himself, he attacked his brother, okay, and killed him. killed his elder brother. Means Porrex killed his elder brother Pherex. When the news goes to Gorboduc, he was very angry at Porrex. But Porrex explained the reason behind his attacking. This information of Pherex and Porrex was given to Gorboduc by Dordan. Dordan was another courtier. Dordan. He writes a letter to Gorboduc about everything that was going on between two brothers, Pherex and Porrex. When Porrex comes after killing his brother and explained it to be right and rightful, mother was very angry because mother Videna loved Pherex. Videna was mother. Videna was mother of Pherex and Porrex. But she loved more Pherex than Porrex. She was very angry, she was very sad, and she stabbed her son. Means she killed her own son, Porrex. Mother Videna killed her own son, Porrex. So both sons are killed. When this news spread in people, there was kind of riot. And the rioters killed Gorboduc and Videna. See, when this news goes among people that one brother Porrex killed elder brother Pherex, then mother killed her own son Porrex. So king has no successor now. And king and queen are devil now. So people, means rioters, attacked king and killed Gorboduc and Videna. Now king and queen both are killed. See the series, killing is continuing. King and queen both are killed. When king and queen were killed, now courtiers and nobles were very angry. Now king was killed, queen was killed. Now courtiers, lords were very angry. Lords were angry. So lords attacked the rioters and killed many rioters. Many rioters were killed. On the stage, only the dead bodies were there on the stage. Fergus, the Duke of Albany, he was Duke of Albany after the death of king and queen, the princess. He decided to be the king. But Erastus says that parliament must decide. Erastus. They are the lords, okay? Erastus says that parliament must decide who should be the king. And there is end of the play with a kind of bemoaning from Eubulus. Eubulus, Eubulus. Eubulus bemoans the fate. Why? Because he thinks that the decision over the who will be king, who will be ruler, should have been taken when Gorboduc was alive. If Gorboduc was alive and he would have called parliament, he would have listened the story that was Morgan's and Conrad's story. he would have believed in the Lord's statement, Lord's suggestion, and nothing like this would happen. That there was a series of murder, many writers were killed, many lords were killed, princes were killed, queen was killed, king was killed, and finally the whole issue of Great Britain becomes chaos-like issue. Means there is nothing like certainty, everything was in unsystematic way, everything was scattered. So this was misfortune of Great Britain that had two successors, but now without king and queen. That was the last bemoaning statement from Eubulus. And there is end of this play and end of the pre-Elizabethan literature. Though you see that this play, Gorboduc, was possibly written in 1561 and technically it belongs to Elizabethan time, but its performance was also a good one before Queen Elizabeth. So by this we can say that it belongs to Elizabethan age, but since we are giving the priority to the time and spirit of writing, so this goes to the pre-Elizabethan literature. So there is end of this pre-Elizabethan, and from next day we will continue with our Elizabethan literature, and that's going to be the one of the richest literature in English. Okay, so be very careful and be very working hard. Now this is going to be your time. It is going to be important for you in your NET exam. Before this, definitely Geoffrey Chaucer was meaningful, but now you need to work really hard, because now you'll find a lot of material, you'll find a lot of writers to read, a lot of works to read, a lot of poems to learn, and you cannot forget them. They all are going to be important for you. Okay? And from the next week, we have another planning. We will have a timetable, and according to timetable, we will take 2 days for one unit. Like, I would like to start with literary criticism, 2 days for literary criticism, 2 days for history of English literature, and 2 days for prose, poetry, drama, and all that. Anyone I will decide on. Okay? So this is how we will continue with 3 units daily, not daily, in fact, each week. Okay? We'll see you tomorrow. A great time.